Put the phone down just for a second. Not because you're doing anything wrong either, but because your phone is hot and you're tired. You're not the kind of tired that sleep fixes either. It's the kind of tired that feels like punishment for scrolling for hours and hours and hours at a time. So you're not doing this for entertainment, but you're doing it for rescue. I understand exactly where you're at. And I know that you keep seeing words like purpose, start over, new beginning, but none of these are touching the place inside of you that keep asking, am I too late? Too late to pursue what I really want. Too late to become who I thought I'd be by now. Too late to do something, anything that feels like mine. And you tell yourself that you should be further along. You tell yourself that you should know better, that you should be more grateful. But underneath all of that stuff, there's something deeper. You're just looking for permission to want more. And you're scared that wanting more makes you ungrateful, rebellious, or selfish. It doesn't. You're scared that wanting more makes you somebody that people get to judge. But it doesn't. It makes you alive. So that ache that you feel, it's not weakness, it's calling. And tonight, we're going to free you from that guilt that's been choking your purpose out. And I'm Richard, and welcome back, and welcome back to the Walk-In Transformation Podcast, everyone. I'm excited about this episode here. And if you're just joining us, this is where faith meets real life, and not that polished social media version, but the version that you pray about when nobody else is around. Now, in the previous episode, we totally squashed that lie that you're invisible, and we replaced it with the truth that you are seen and loved. So tonight, we're going to talk about something a little heavier than that. That's the quiet belief that you've missed your moment. And by the end of this episode, I promise you, you won't carry that lie anymore. Now, I want to take you with me for a moment. Will you come with me? Not metaphorically, but seriously. Now picture this. It's 2 a.m, 2 a.m. The streets are still wet from a slow, unbothered, misty rain. The street lights are smearing gold across the pavement, and the dashboard of my car is glowing like a soft amber color. I know it sounds like a meditation video setting, but just stay with me here. Now I'm driving, not because I love it, not because it's my dream, but because life had, we'll say, shifted for me. Now, a few years before this moment, I was the guy in the crisp navy suit with a beautiful design tie and all of that good stuff. I was the golden boy, the one people looked at and said, man, that guy right there, he's going places. I mean, I had the corner office, I had the paychecks that really made me smile, and I had a future that looked predictable by everybody's standards. I had a future that looked like rich. Then life just kindly and unapologetically tapped me on the shoulder and said, yeah, everything you built? No, that's not it, man. And the next thing I knew, I wasn't sitting behind a mahogany desk with my name on the door. I was sitting behind a steering wheel at 2 a.m. in the morning, driving strangers through storms to restaurants, on their way home, or taking them to pick up their kids sometimes during the day. And one of those nights, with the rain tapping on the windshield like a heartbeat, man, I was just super frustrated. And I whispered something that I had never said out loud before. It was brewing inside all along, but I had never said it outside. And I simply said, God, is this really my life now? Now, it wasn't anger. It wasn't even fear. That was pure and total disappointment. It was the disappointment of believing that I had missed my moment. But how could I have missed my moment? I mean, I was right in the middle of it. I was right in the center of everything. And all I had to do was just continue to move forward, and that would have been it. It would have been a lock. Life would have been easy street from that day forward. But no. Do you know what the enemy of your purpose loves to whisper when you're tired or when you've taken a great big setback? likes to whisper, "You should have been further along. Look at how much time you wasted, my boy. Wow, you blew your chance." But here's what I've learned since that night. I learned that God does not deal in too late. People do. Fear does. Shame does. But not the one who created you, not God. And that night, in the middle of my own storm, God was whispering something back to me. Now, I didn't hear it then, but looking back, I know what he was saying. He was saying, "This isn't punishment. This is clarity. I am doing my best to help you get clear about the path you're going to take. Now, I know this does not feel good, my child, but I had to let you become invisible so you could see those who felt like they were invisible. I had to let you become invisible so you could be compassionate when it comes to being around people who feel invisible. I had to let you experience driving people around that you didn't even know so that you could stop for a minute, feel them, and help them navigate the rocky roads of their own lives and get back to lives of purpose and service." You know what? A strange comfort started to wash over me as I drove that night. I can't explain it, but man, I got really, really calm. And the night was started. I was ready for my first ride of the night. Then she got into my car quietly. The doctor. Her perfume was sharp like citrus. Her eyes, though, they were swollen from crying. Her voice was steady, but it cracked around the edges sometimes when she spoke, and she didn't speak much. For the first few minutes, we rode in pure silence, and it was just me, her, and my radio, because all I do is I just play good, calm, soothing music that reminds people that they matter. Now, the other noise was just the wipers sweeping the rain, and just her breathing, and me just watching the wipers intermittently go back and forth and back and forth. And the thing that was the biggest elephant in the car was the weight of her life sitting heavy in my back seat. And then she whispered through short, choppy breaths, something barely audible, but something so deep. She said, "I don't even know who I am anymore." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't theatrical. It was just gut level, honest, and true. Now, I kept my eyes on the road and said gently, "Hey, listen, I want you to know that I really do see you, and I really do feel you. And if you want to talk about it, we can. But if not, feel free to sit there in silence and take it easy, or just have yourself a really good cry. No judgment here. This is a safe zone for you." She hesitated, and then she let it spill. Man, the waterworks came for about a good solid 3 to 4 minutes. Then she became totally calm, and she said what she wanted to say and couldn't manage it first because of the tears. She told me that she became a doctor not because she loved medicine, not because she loved healing and people getting healed. That really, really filled her up. Not because of that, but because her parents dreamed it for her, and they pushed, so she obeyed, because they were her parents and they knew best what she wanted, right? Now, somewhere between the white coat, the student loans, and the expectations, the part of her who used to love painting, who used to sit outside capturing sunsets and brilliantly colored caterpillars, disappeared. She said in a quivery voice, "I just wanted to be a painter, that's all. But I never believed that I was allowed to want what I wanted." Tell me, doesn't that sound familiar? Now, I know that you have wanted something for years, like me, something that felt yours, but life, family, responsibility, they all told you, "No, not now. Be practical. Stop tripping about that. Be responsible. Be grateful." I need you to do this. You've got bills. You've got obligations. You got to get the kids through school. And you listened. And look, again, no judgment here from me, because that's life and you had to meet those things. And you listen because you're good, because you're loyal, because you don't want to disappoint anyone. I get that. But here's what she learned that night and what you're about to learn. You see, your desire is not rebellion. Your desire is revelation. It is God showing you the part of yourself that you buried to survive. He didn't bury it. He didn't forget it. You buried it. And he is calling it back to life because it's not dead. That part of you is not dead. Now, I never suggested that she just follow her dream. I never told her to just keep praying or think positive or who cares what other people think. Do what you want to do. No, all of that stuff, man, come on, that's surface stuff. That would not have helped her. But what I did do was I asked her one simple question. When was the last time you felt fully alive? And she didn't hesitate. As soon as I finished that word alive, she said, painting. When I was 12, I used to sit on the porch capturing sunsets. I used to catch some of the most brilliantly colored caterpillars walking across the porch, and I would paint them as quickly as I could. And her voice trembled when she said those words, and I could see the tears because her soul was remembering what her life had forgotten. After just one sincere and compassionate conversation with her, today she is working toward her dream of creating paintings that would help people that are sad feel better. Paintings that would help people who feel invisible feel seen again. Oh yeah, she's still a doctor and a good one, but she's also a rising artist that is gaining attention. You see, she remembered her purpose. She remembered her purpose, and she reconnected with the little younger version of herself. So let's talk about the guilt. Let's talk about the permission that you've been afraid to take, because I know you feel it, and you know you feel it, and it's okay to feel that, because that's just being real. Now, you think wanting more means you're ungrateful. You might not say it out loud, but I mean, come on, we've all been there. You think pursuing your calling means you're abandoning your responsibilities. I know this. You think shifting your path means you're betraying the people who helped you to get there in the first place. But hear me, please. Obedience to God will always look like rebellion to people who benefit from your silence. Can I get an amen in the church for that? I mean, for real, can I get an amen in the church for that? Now listen, let me say that again. Obedience to God, and you don't have to be super Christian or anything like that, but obedience to God will always look like rebellion to people who benefit from your silence. Now that guilt you feel, it's not from God. It's from expectation. It's from conditioning. It's from years of trying to earn the right to want something more for yourself. But God hasn't stopped calling you, not once. And the more you try to kill your desire, the more your desire insists on rising. Because what you want wants you more. Why? Because it can only have life through you. Because it's not an idea, it's an assignment from God. Now, am I saying that you have to be in the pulpit preaching the word of God, or out there on the sidewalks on your soapbox, trying to get people saved? Or no, I'm not saying that. You don't even have to be, going to visit the sick and shut in. You could be simply trying to open up a daycare. You could be, maybe opening up or teaching summer school for kids. There are lots of different callings that God assigns us. And whatever your calling is, it's an assignment from God. So it's not going to die out. Now, Philippians chapter 3, verses 13 through 14 says, "Forget those things which are behind and reach forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark of the high calling." Now, your life is not behind you. Your calling is not behind you. Your purpose did not and it cannot expire. You are not too late. You are right on time, just like the perfect sunrise. God's timing with you is perfect. So your clarity moment is pretty much right around the corner. This is the beginning. Now, listen to this. I told the doctor something very, very, very simple, something small, but life-changing. I told her to go and get a paintbrush this weekend. You don't have to get the biggest paintbrush. You don't have to buy a whole paint set. You don't need all that. Just get a paintbrush this weekend. Not to become an artist, just to become yourself again. To reconnect with the younger you inside that just wanted to paint. And just remember, because I tell you this, and this may sound weird, but I tell you this, the answer to all of your problems exists in that inner child. That inner child can help you to discover the answers to the situations that, just totally baffle you. And now, I'm not asking you to quit your job. No, that's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to flip your life upside down. I'm just asking you to give yourself permission to reconnect with the part of yourself that you buried. That part of you was never really totally gone anyway. You always felt that part of you kind of looking at you from the inside. You see, clarity doesn't come from figuring out everything. It can't, because if it did, then nobody would have clarity. It comes from telling the truth about what's missing. So, here's your moment. What is the one thing that makes you feel alive, that you've been too guilty to want? What gets your blood boiling that you've been suppressing because you don't want to shine your light too far and get judged? Let the answer rise. Don't censor it. Don't judge it. Don't shrink it. And don't hide from it. Just hear it. Just acknowledge it. Just give it some love. That's what it's there for. Now, that whisper is the doorway to your next chapter. So, here are some action steps for a guilt-free life. Simple stuff, not assignments or anything like that, but hear me out and stick with me. Tonight before you go to sleep, just ask yourself that same simple question that I asked the doctor. When was the last time I felt fully alive? And don't you try to put together a perfect answer. The answer that comes up, let it be the real answer. Don't try to control it. Write down whatever comes up. Don't edit it. Don't analyze. Just tell the truth. Now, here's the second step. And this is just a small step. Take one gentle step toward it. So tomorrow, take a tiny step toward what you wrote. Not a leap. Don't jump, as high and hard as you can. Not a life overhaul. Just one simple step. You can do that. You can do that. You can do that. Now, buy the paintbrush. Write the first sentence. Sign up for the class. Create the quiet space. Dare to dream again. Step one. Step one. That's all clarity needs. Because if you'll take one step toward what God has created for you, He will take more than one step. Serendipitous events will start to happen, but you just can't take one step and say, oh, that's it, I'm done. No, you got to keep stepping, okay? You got to keep stepping. Now, here's the third step. Just let God back in. I know you haven't turned your back on God, okay? Some of you may have, and that's okay, but all of us need to continue to let God back in, because there are times when we push God out because unfortunately, sometimes we feel, and this is no judgment, sometimes we feel like I just don't have time for that at this very moment. That's the very time that we always need time. So tonight, step outside for 30 seconds and look at the night sky. Find just one star and then say, God, show me who I really am. Not who they wanted me to be or told me that I was. Not who they told you that I was. Not who you settled for or wish you were, but who you really are. And let him answer you. So this kind of is where, the sky breaks open. Now, you haven't missed your moment. You have not fallen behind. You haven't disqualified yourself. You can't disqualify yourself because up until the last moment, you're still qualified for what you have been given by God. Not by being late, not by being tired, not by choosing everyone else for so long that you forgot you were allowed to choose yourself. You can't disqualify yourself. So I want you to hear me. Really, I want you to hear me. You are not standing at the end of your story. You are standing at the beginning of your clarity. And if you feel like I feel, like I have more years behind me than in front of me, the beginning of your clarity is the beginning of the most energetic part of your life that you could imagine. So you're not too old. You're not too far gone. You're not playing catch up with people who seem like they're ahead. You are exactly where God can speak to you without the noise drowning him out. It took that because we can't, and here's the thing. We think that God has not been speaking with us, or, God doesn't talk to me, or I have to go to this person to get a message from God through them. Listen, God's been speaking to us the entire time. It's just that there's so much noise in our minds, so much noise inside of us, that it drowns out his voice. So remember that night that I told God, is this really my life now? The sky was dark, the road was empty, the rain felt endless, but something happened the moment I whispered that truth. The sky didn't clear, but I did. Quiet fell over me, and I was able to hear him speak to me. Now, this is not some woo-woo stuff, okay? I don't want you to get all caught up on that, but it's clarity. That's what I want you to get caught up on. Clarity rarely comes with sunshine. It often comes up in the dark, when nothing distracts you, when your heart is raw enough to actually receive what God's been saying all along. And right now, in this moment, the same thing is happening for you, maybe. And I'm hoping that it is. Not because of me, not because of this podcast, but because God has been quietly tugging on the part of you that refuses to die, even though you keep holding it down because you don't want to outshine other people. Listen, that's their business. You tend to you and God's business. Now, the part of you that still wants more, the part of you that still wants to feel alive, that part of you still believes that he didn't make you by accident. You know that. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1 says, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." Come on, are you kidding? The glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Not when you get it together, not when people approve, not when you stop feeling guilty. Listen, it says arise now. You don't have to have the whole plan. As a matter of fact, we're never going to have the whole plan. That's why faith is so important. You know, faith, or now faith, the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. You know, it's walking when we don't see the pavement. Imagine this. You're driving a car. It's dark at night. Do you know you only have like maybe 30 feet of vision in front of you? Anything beyond that, you have to take it on faith. So you just have to stand up inside yourself and take one small breath of truth. And that breath of truth is this: I am allowed to want what God gave me. And when you do, that sky breaks wide open. Not always outside, but inside. And I'm telling you, when you feel the sky break open inside of you, you're not going to be able to speak for a moment, because you know how your lip does that quivery thing when you're about to cry? That's the state that you're going to be in, because you're going to feel so much extreme gratitude. So you'll feel the weight shift. You'll feel the shame loosen. You'll feel the guilt melt. And suddenly, the thing you thought you weren't allowed to want starts to feel holy. It starts to feel sanctioned by God, because it is. Your desire was never rebellion. It was revelation. It was God reminding you, you are still mine, and I still have work for you. So lift up your head, even if it's just a little, and feel that tiny stretch. That's purpose waking up again. You're not too late. You're right on time, and it's never too late to transform your life on purpose. So, if this episode reached a part of you that's been holding its breath for years to breathe again, stay close. Share this with someone who's been carrying quiet guilt. And when you're ready, join me for episode 3, where we break open the lie that burnout is normal and expose the truth about the life God never asked you to sacrifice. You heard me right. We expose the truth about the life God never asked you to sacrifice. Now, your permission slip has already been signed. I don't know what you're doing, what you're worrying about. Your calling has not expired, and you, my friend, are just getting started.